Of all the upcoming by-elections, none is more interesting than the by-election slated in Mbeere North in the great county of Embu. And there are two reasons why it is very interesting. In Mbeere North, Justin Muturi is literally fighting for political survival. And this is what I mean. Muturi leads a party called DP. That party only had one member of parliament. That one member of parliament was none other than Ruku. Guess what happened? Muturi, who was then serving as the minister in charge of public service and performance, was replaced by none other than Ruku. The only MP Muturi had in parliament was picked and nominated into cabinet and was the one who replaced his party leader. That meant two things for Muturi. He became jobless, but above all, his party became instantly a non-parliamentary party. So for the first time, BP party is not a parliamentary party. This is something that Muturi didn't take lightly, and you can see it through his bitterness towards William Ruto. Muturi is bitter than Rigathi in some cases. Now, why did I say he's fighting for his political life? Two things. One, if he doesn't win that seat, if he doesn't retain that seat, then it would be an indicator that nobody listens to him in Embu. And yet remember, this man has ambitions of not just being the governor of Embu, but even vying as president or being in a position where he can be nominated as a deputy. But if he doesn't have clout, if he cannot even get his own seat, if he cannot even win a seat in his own backyard, then people will say this guy is gone. And the second reason, Rigathi Gachagua won't care about Muturi anymore. Remember when the issue of fielding candidates from Mbeere North came up, DCP went there and fielded a candidate. And they made it very clear that they were not going to surrender that seat for anyone. It took tantrums from Muturi for Rigathi to reconsider. Because Muturi, I think, made it clear to Rigathi that he was willing to risk their association if they were not going to support the DP candidate. So Rigathi also, in the situation is, he doesn't want split in his base in Mount Kenya. So he has agreed to support Muturi. But as a trap, he's praying that Muturi's candidate fails, so that after that, Muturi does not have a voice on the table. He will have to do what is told, because it would have been proven that Muturi, Justin, cannot bring anything on the table. He cannot even convince his own constituents to vote for a candidate. So you see how interesting that particular race is. Now, that is the one side of Muturi fighting for his political survival. Let's move to UDA. Whereas this is not a UDA seat, so they are not under pressure to retain this seat, unlike Muturi, who has to retain this seat. UDA's chairperson is the governor for Embu, meaning this election is being done in her own turf. If the UDA candidate lost, it would have proven that UDA no longer has a voice in Embu. And then there will be no need to have Cecil Mbeere as the UDA chair, having proven that she has no influence at home. She is the UDA chair, and this is Embu, where she comes from. This seat matters. For her, she has to win this to prove a point. But it doesn't stop at Mbeere. There is the belief that Meru, Embu, and Tharaka are more likely to support Kithure Kindiki than Rigathi Gachagua. If Rigathi Gachagua and the person he supports, that is Muturi, was to win, it would be a very big blow to Kithure Kindiki, because Rigathi would have proven that whatever he supports, even if it was in Tarakaniti, would go through. That also lowers Kindiki Kithure's bargaining power, if you may. So you have 3 individuals here, actually 4 individuals here, who have serious interest in Mbeere North. Muturi has to retain his seat. If he doesn't, he would be seen as useless politically by none other than the people and, of course, Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi Gachagua also has interest. His biggest prayer is that Muturi's candidate loses. This is very important. He wants Muturi's candidate to lose, because if Muturi's candidate does not lose, then it means that if you want anything in Embu, you have to bargain with Muturi. But if he loses, then he can bypass Muturi and tell him, you see, I would have fielded a DCP candidate here and you would have won. Now you insisted that you have to field your DP candidate, and now that DP candidate has lost. So I do not need to consult you in anything to do with Embu. I will just move in, talk to the people directly. So Rigathi Gachagua's prayer, because he wants control, is that Muturi's candidate loses. In fact, in this particular race, I can bet that Rigathi is praying for UDA to win, because it gives him power over Muturi to dictate him. Cecil Mbeere, who is the governor for Embu and also the party chair of UDA, also has to prove a point. She has to win this seat. Because if UDA loses in the home turf of their chairperson, it will just send one clear message that UDA is no longer needed in the larger Mount Kenya region, and 2, that Cecil Mbeere is maybe a one-term governor if she still stick with UDA. Kindiki Kithure also has interest here. If in his turf of Meru, Embu, and Tharaka, he can lose to an alliance of Rigathi and Muturi, then his bargaining power at the national table is gone. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you understand why that particular election is interesting. Now, let's go back to Justin Muturi and look at why this is a do or die for him. Justin Muturi has been an MP. He has also been a speaker. He has served also in the executive. As such, Justin Muturi sees himself as somebody who deserves more. He feels like he can either be a governor, a deputy president, or a president. Those are the only goals. He's like, either I can rule a county or I can be at the decision making at the executive, meaning either deputy president or the president. And the only way Justin Muturi can realize these goals is if he has a backyard support, if he has a constituency of his own, which currently he doesn't have. At least he had, but then, like I told you, William Ruto poached the MP, and now Muturi has no member of parliament in his DP party. So he has to win this seat. Now, I believe I've explained to you why it is a do or die for Justin Muturi. He has to win this seat. If he doesn't win the seat, he's done politically. If he wins the seat, he has a voice. He can talk. And of course, he will come and tell William Ruto, I told you, I'm not somebody you can joke with. I know Muturi will really gloss. So he has to win this seat. If he doesn't win, he's politically dead. This particular race is what will determine Justin Muturi's political future, ladies and gentlemen. As to whether he can win against UDA and the other candidate of Chama cha Kazi, the one for Moses Kuria, well, we wait to see. And by-elections are highly unpredictable. And Mbeere North might prove us wrong. UDA might win. We might have even a shocker, Moses Kuria's candidate winning. Or the seat might go to Muturi's guy. That is something we wait to see. We cannot sit here and then say with certainty that this person will win. What I wanted to tell you is that one Justin Muturi depends entirely on this race. His political future is pegged on this race. He loses, he is gone. He wins, he has a voice. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I wanted to share with you about this particular race. If you have any other views, you can share in the comment section. Let us engage. Otherwise, if you want to know why Justin Muturi is so bitter with William Ruto, watch this video.